well, just a few hours and then we would know. Or perhaps by Monday we would know the entire figures. But then sorting of votes has started now. We have another correspondent before we begin to look at sorting. We have Tesem Akende, my colleague, joining us from Kaduna. Tesem, can you tell us if sorting has started at the polling unit where you're reporting from? Okay. Yes, we'll have Tesem Akende shortly. Sorting has counted. Let's now begin to look at the role of party agents at this time. Let's also note that electoral observers are commending the process so far. But then again, I noted that my colleague said it's a very sensitive, you know, part of the exercise. So are you confident that as this process begins now, the security agents are competent, you know, to keep their eyes on the process such that there will be no incident? Janet.
Security agents are not supposed to put their head on the counting process. They're supposed to comply with the role the Constitution provides for them as security. They're just to guide.
To provide security. But let's have Tesem now. Tesem?
Yes, good afternoon, Bukola.
So go ahead. What can you report from where you are?
Yes, we're here at Ungwensariki. Voting ended before 2 p.m. People were not, voters did not come. Some of them did not come, but the ad hoc staff were here, and at about 2 p.m., I mean, they were basically not really doing anything because the turnout, they had, the voters had done casting their ballots. They have come back now to, you can see by my left, they are back seated to actually witness what is ongoing. To my far right, you have ad hoc staff and collation officers carrying out the collation process. Agents are monitoring and looking at the process. They are, you know, looking at the verification before the actual counting will take place. But observers are also on ground. Media people are also here, all watching the process to, you know, ensure that the transparency is the order of the day here.
Tesem, what's the presence of security operatives like in that area now that sorting has started?
Yeah, security presence is really here. Security personnel, we have a lot of them. Just a few minutes ago, I had the Commissioner of Police coming to this particular polling unit, but we still have some of them. You can see we are precisely around Ungwensariki, but we have a deployment from the DPO, Divisional Police Officer from Malali, is here himself. Malali here in Kaduna Metropolis, he's here. You know, we have personnel of the police here to actually monitor the process. Engaging the Commissioner of Police a couple of minutes ago when he came, of course, he was accompanied by the commandant, the state commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. We also had officials of the prison service, the road safety corps, and you know, a synergy. We had people from different formations, all going around on patrols, you know, all to ensure that there is no breakdown in law and order. With a state, being a state that has a history of violence, talking about electoral violence, the security agencies are making sure that we don't have a breakdown in law and order. Many times where the breakdown comes is after the voting process, when counting is ongoing, and possibly after when the results are announced. You know, so they are tightening loose ends, which the Commissioner of Police told me. They are leaving nothing to chance, you know, all to ensure that Kaduna is peaceful during the counting process, which is ongoing at different centers, and when the collation is all together at the INEC headquarters, and then the announcement of results. This, we have the assurances of the police and other agencies that it will actually take place this way.
Tesem Akende, our correspondent in Kaduna, thank you for bringing us up to speed with events as far as the election is concerned. Tesem reports that at the polling unit where he is, sorting has started, voting has ended, and we could see voters seated there, keeping their eyes on the process to validate or otherwise the transparency of the process. And that brings to the count 4 states now where voting has ended and sorting has begun: Benue, Lagos, Kaduna, Ogun State. In Cross River, where Sharon Ijason reported from, it appears that voting has been extended and sorting may be a bit later on during the day. At the top of the hour, we would have more news coming to you, but just before then, let's quickly wrap up the discussion we were talking earlier on before Tesem started with his report.
We're talking about the role of the security agents. And I said their role is to comply with the constitutional and legal responsibility and then conduct themselves within the scope as provided by the Electoral Act. They are not supposed to be involved in collation or counting. They're there to make sure that there is peace.
Yeah, absolutely.
They create the peaceful atmosphere for those things to be counted.
But in that polling unit where Tesem Akende reported from, it was reassuring to see
the vehicle,
security operatives there.
And their truck standby. So if there's any problem, they just pack them into the truck.
Before you make your contribution, we have another correspondent who joins us now, Tolu Ogunjobi. Hello, Tolu. Tolu is reporting from Ikorodu. Tolu, has sorting begun in Ikorodu?
Grammar school, yes, grammar school. Yes, exactly. We are at grammar school bus stop, Oke-Otano in Ikorodu, and sorting and counting of ballot papers ongoing at the moment. One problem that we saw around this area we covered today is that the process started a little bit slow, as in not on time, because we were supposed to kick off at 8 a.m. but some places at about 9:30 they just started the process, and there were some challenges even around Ikosi area too before we got to this end, where there were issues with the NYSC guys and also the ad hoc staffs who requested for allowances, and they refused to start the process. But aside that, the process went on smoothly. No issues with card readers. People were able to access and use the card readers and vote seamlessly across the area. The turnout too was also a challenge because many of that we spoke to, and also that what was that people didn't really come out. They did for the presidential election. That's even according to some people that we also spoke to, the representatives around this area. So, but now people are on ground monitoring the votes while the ballots are being counted. They are seeing it. All party agents are here taking figures, and the next is to move to the collation centers, which will be the local government, where they will now start collating the results and move for onward movement to INEC office in Lagos. Buki.
Tolu Ogunjobi, thank you for bringing us up to speed with events in Ikorodu. In Ikorodu, as in other parts of Lagos, I recall Sarah reporting as well, sorting has started, voting has ended, and we'll be looking at that as regards other issues relating to the election. But now we must pause and give chance for more updates from the news. Veronica Dan Ikwe is standing by. Stay with us.